Justice out loud. Justice out loud. Justice out loud. Justice out loud. Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Opportunity Agenda's Justice Out Loud Livestream Gala. My name is Fazia Mirza, and this is how you MC a gala in 2020 during a pandemic. You know what I'm saying? I do want to make myself accessible and give a visual description of what I'm wearing and who I am and what's happening. I am standing against a gray background. I have an orange life preserver, an orange hard hat. I'm wearing a blue tie-dye mask. I'm 5'2". I'm 120. Fine, I'm 130 pounds. I've gained the pandemic poof. Don't judge me. It's fine. You know what? Why don't I just step into something a little more comfortable, okay? It's not like anybody's here anyway. Woo. Ha. Woo. Yeah, okay, this is good stuff. Keep the mask on, wear a mask. I'm gonna put it in my pocket just in case. Now I have this hard hat hair, but I'm a lesbian, it's fine, I'm used to it. Now, wherever you are watching from, your couch, your bed, your bathtub, aren't you glad that you get to order Uber Eats and not eat gala chicken? I am. Also, wherever you're tuning in from, take a moment to reflect on the history of the land you're on. Now, I am in Toronto. Toronto, Canada. Not Toronto, Indiana. That would be too. But I'm in Toronto, Canada, and I am on the treaty lands and the territory of the Mississaugas of the Credit and the traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, the Wendat, and the Haudenosaunee. Now, this territory is subject to the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, a peace treaty between the Anishinaabe and the Haudenosaunee. So here's what you are going to see and hear wherever you are tuning in from tonight. You're going to learn who the Opportunity Agenda is, what they do, and how important the work is. And I know what you're thinking. You're like, Fazia, why are you emceeing this and not me? Well, here's the thing. The people at the Opportunity Agenda saw my Instagram and they were like, wow, she's not doing anything during this pandemic. She must be available. Now, tonight, you're going to meet some amazing folks. You're going to hear from two amazing leaders in the social justice sector, our honorees, Alan Jenkins and Deanna Hoskins, and you're going to see some incredible artwork. And you're going to hear from the artists, Jesse Grimes and Russell Craig. But it's not just any artwork. It's Justice Out Loud artwork. It's a megaphone. It's never going to get old, so get used to it. Now, at the end of our program, we have a very special conversation and musical performance with Stefan Brackett and Michelle Rocket. It's going to be good. And I know you have a lot of viewing options this evening. You could be binging Selling Sunset on Netflix, or watching Love Island, or maybe watching reruns of the presidential debate. Regardless, we are so glad you're choosing to spend the next 45 minutes with us. And I can promise you, no one will talk over me. Now, there are a few ways that you get to participate tonight. Oh yeah, like this is not just me talking at you. This is us in conversation. This is all live, baby. We get to engage if you want to. Now, one, we're building a photo mosaic. It's made up of all these images that you submit and ones that we've added. Now, you can submit a photo by visiting this link. Yeah, virtualmosaic.com/Justice Out Loud Gala. Or you can submit your photo on Instagram using the hashtag Justice Out Loud Gala. Now, if you want to submit by Instagram, got to make sure your profile's public. Show us your privates. Here's a sneak peek, by the way, of said mosaic as we begin building it. Take a look. Okay, that's good. Yo, send us some pics. Look at that. Those look good, right? Send us some pics, because if you didn't take a pic of it, it probably didn't happen. Now, also, the third way we can engage is you can chat with us, but actually chat with us and with each other. Chat box located below. So just let us know like where you are, what you're doing, what you're eating, and what Justice Out Loud means to you. For me, Justice Out Loud means claiming my identity and my art and in my family spaces. Now, by the way, BT dubs, if you're watching in full screen mode, you can't do the chat. So you got to exit out of full screen mode to make it work. Our chat is moderated. So if you say something, if you have a question, pop them in the chat. I will maybe get to talk about them and find out about them. There's no FOMO tonight, y'all, because we're doing this together. Okay, now look, also, this is a gala with a capital G. And like every good gala, we are asking you to help the Opportunity Agenda continue this valuable work by making a donation. Now, using your smartphone, scan the QR code on the screen, or you can also text JUSTICE, JUSTICE. That's JUSTICE. Just, it's fine. I don't know Morse code. It's fine. To text JUSTICE to 646-768-8285. And if that doesn't work, as clearly my Morse code machine is broken, you can also use the green donate button below. And please donate, whether it's $1, $10, $100, $10,000, every single dollar makes a difference. I mean, think about it. Think of the money you saved by watching from home, by not taking a cab or having to spend money on parking. You've saved on dry cleaning and having a hangover the next day from all that gala wine. Donate all of those savings to the Opportunity Agenda right now. So wait, what are we waiting for? Let's get this party started. Yes. Now I want to introduce our first speaker, Ellen Buckman. Now, Ellen Buckman is one of the most talented individuals I have ever met. I had the pleasure of meeting Ellen at the Creative Change Retreat in 2019. Now, for those of you who don't know, this retreat is basically this amazing gathering that happens every year, of course, except this one, obviously. It happens at the Sundance Space in Park City, and it is this gathering of writers and comedians, artists, thought leaders, funders, and they all come together to collaborate on ways to change the world together. At that time, Ellen had just been named acting president after founder Alan Jenkins' departure and was appointed president later in the year. She is a beautiful energy of a human and has done a million amazing things. I am truly honored, that's honored with a U because I am coming to you live from Canada, to introduce the president of the Opportunity Agenda, Ellen Buckman!
Thank you so much, Fazia Mirza, our extraordinary and captivating superhero MC for tonight's event. Let's give it up for Fazia, actually. If we were in person, I'd ask everyone to give her a big round of applause. Thank you. As Fazia said, I'm Ellen Buckman, and I was inspired to come to the Opportunity Agenda as its new president. I came in 2018 because of its proven theory of change, that narrative change makes hearts and minds change, that with collaborative, strategic, equitably competent communication, cultural strategies, and storytelling, eventually justice will be realized. Now, I know from my past work and my current work, my work as an organizer in many contexts with the Civil Rights Coalition, and currently as a collaborator and as a strategic communicator, that this is hard work. And right now, it's not just hard, it's a hot mess. It's a hot mess. Now, I have to pause here, friends, because it's not just a hot mess for many people. That hot mess is messing with their lives. And so I want to stop here just to say the Opportunity Agenda is with you. We are here with you. We are here with you during these hard times. We see you. We hear you. We are striving for justice, justice out loud with you. So for all my Black, Brown, Indigenous, queer brothers and sisters, you can count on the Opportunity Agenda with you. And for all of you, all of you who are experiencing loss, whether it's from COVID-19 or whether it's from a form of injustice, we hold you in our hearts. We hold you in our hearts. Thank you. I believe in you, and so does the Opportunity Agenda. And I believe to my core that if we are organized, we will win. If we use our tools, if we are effective in our communication as a tool, we will eventually change hearts and minds, and we will accomplish the change, the justice that we are striving for and calling for with Justice Out Loud tonight. So now on to it. Let's get to it. We're here to say that we're in this work to change narrative toward justice by proclaiming justice out loud and nothing less. At the Opportunity Agenda, for us, what that means is work that is shaping the long haul, that is shaping the long-term narrative. The big story is how we see narrative. What's the story that we all walk around with? And sometimes it's multiple stories at once in our heads. The stories that are informed by what's around us, whether it's the culture, whether it's the conversations, whether it's the personalities, whether it's the people, whether it's the events, whether it's something that happens to us in our everyday lives. We all walk around with stories that are informed by those instances, by those people, like it or not. And so for us at the Opportunity Agenda, our work is about making sense of those events and those people, those conversations, and making sure that we're figuring out how we redirect, in some cases, the narratives that are inspired by them. We always start with racial justice, with gender justice, with economic justice and opportunity, with human rights and dignity, particularly for those of us who are immigrants in our country. And we always try and keep in mind that the reforms that we are working toward represent systemic change that will make things better for everyone and not for a small few. Change will make sure that solutions don't include things like locking people up and throwing away the key. Now, I get asked a lot, Ellen, that's all great, but how do you do that? How does the Opportunity Agenda do that? Help me understand. So picture a wheel, if you can. A clock with 12 o'clock at the top, a wheel, a non-linear process. That's the whole point here. Because at the Opportunity Agenda, we're constantly learning. That's why we call ourselves a communication lab. We always start with research that tells us where hearts and minds actually are. Because if we want them to move in a certain direction, we got to learn where they are first. So that research then is considered with people like you, with our partners. We never do it alone. Our partners are the experts, and you are the ones that tell us how that research is moving you to or away from particular goals of your campaign. Once we do that, we're thinking together with you about what message advice works and what doesn't work so well. And at the Opportunity Agenda, as I said, we are always looking through the lenses of racial and gender justice, of equity, and we're developing those messages so that we can make sure that the words that we use are always moving in those directions. Implementation always follows and actually is ongoing. And so you're telling us along the way what campaigns you are working, how you're using those messages, and throughout that wheel, making sure that you're developing with us, hopefully, and we're supporting you, new ways of using those messages so that we can attract more audiences. Now, when we get to the top, back to 12 o'clock, we're constantly evaluating. We're making sure that part of that evaluation is figuring out who we reach, because remember, we're calling for justice out loud. We've got to have a drumbeat, right? So we're trying to make sure that those messages through that research developed by the research in partnership with you make sense to large audiences that we're trying to reach, any audiences that we're thinking about specifically targeting. And we're always evaluating, because what good is our work if we don't figure that out and answer that question? Did it work? Did it not work? Do we need to do more research, which puts us right back up at the top? So that's what we do in a nutshell. We're not linear. We're constantly thinking. As I said, our communication lab is constantly learning, and we're doing that together with you and with our partners. and with a range of people, our researchers, our staff, and anybody who will join us on this journey to move hearts and minds. So that's it in a nutshell. Go to opportunityagenda.org for more information and learn more. Think about it together with us. And actually, you can find out more about what our partners are saying about it too, and about their feedback. And actually, tonight, we have some of that information here to share with you what some of our partners are saying.
Hi, I'm Tony Stevens with the American Council of the Blind, here with my guide dog Palmer. And for us, the Opportunity Agenda creates a compass that really helps us navigate our messaging and communications.
At a time when misinformation is swirling around more than ever, and it's all that more important that we as advocates are able to really distill our message effectively and get it out there.
The Opportunity Agenda affirmed my place in the world as a social justice superhero. But seriously, they really expanded my community and my possibilities.
The Opportunity Agenda gave me a powerful framework for talking about racial and economic justice issues, which I still use today in speeches and in interviews.
The Opportunity Agenda represented a chance to work with voices that need to be heard.
And so incredible to work with such smart, dedicated people.
The Opportunity Agenda made space for me and my voice. They have a folding chair ready for me to take a seat at any table that I need to.
The Opportunity Agenda means values-driven messaging, intersectionality, and speaking to people's hearts. They provided me with the tools I've needed to become a better communicator.
For me, the Opportunity Agenda means community. It's a place where artists and researchers and activists and educators can come together to rejuvenate ourselves, imagine, to dream, to really think, what would it actually mean to have a better world?
Authentically and creatively leading with shared values.
For me, Opportunity Agenda means VPSA, Virtually Perfect Syntax Arrangement.
The Opportunity Agenda is a place that supports social justice leaders and teaches them how to inspire, persuade, and grow the movement to make change.
The Opportunity Agenda means becoming a better advocate by learning to use my voice more effectively and being a part of a network of people who are changing the world.
For me, the Opportunity Agenda creates a community committed to social justice, a community within which I feel more empowered and effective as a citizen and advocate. Many thanks to all of the people at the Opportunity Agenda who have taught me how to lead with compassion today so we can create a more equitable tomorrow.
Okay, now it's time for the fun part. I get to introduce our incredibly inspiring honorees to you, starting with the one and only Deanna Hoskins, another one of my super sheroes. Deanna Hoskins is a fierce, bold force for justice. Her work in the community is especially powerful. She supports those who have been most harmed by our systems, and she provides them with tools and resources that are needed so that they can effectively demand change and use their leadership to do that. Now, Deanna has an esteemed career. She also has personal experience that makes her an expert in the work that she is doing. Throughout her career, a couple of highlights to reduce the stigma and harm in communities that are impacted by mass incarceration. Deanna has been a part of the Obama administration in its Department of Justice. She has been in a role at a senior level as an advisor working around corrections and reentry. She has traveled the country meeting with people at all levels, at the grassroots level, elected official level, and beyond, so that she can make sure that their charge is to join her in the call to reduce mass incarceration. And in fact, the goal of her current role, which I'll get to in a second, is to reduce mass incarceration by half in the year 2030. And I am quite convinced that with Deanna at the helm of Just Leadership USA, where she is today, that will happen. Deanna has been with Just Leadership USA for quite some time. She was appointed its president in 2018. And with her leadership, I am sure she will help us reshape our unjust criminal justice system. I am deeply honored to present the Opportunity Agenda's Justice Out Loud Award to my friend, my colleague, my shero, my social justice extraordinaire, Deanna Hoskins. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ellen. And many thanks to the Opportunity Agenda. I had already spent my career working in the racial and social justice arena when I was named President CEO of Just Leadership USA. And then I was selected to attend the Opportunity Agenda Communications Institute as a fellow. I was so pleased and excited to have been selected. But even so, I was not prepared for the impact it would have on my work, nor was I prepared for the impact of the other social justice leaders in the room would have on my life. I was and am proud of what we've been able to accomplish. And I am even stronger leader now because of what I've learned about the power of narrative and the power of storytelling from the Opportunity Agenda. This year, despite being called the year that many want to forget, I say it's actually a year to remember. We have made progress on ambitious goals for reducing prison population. We have come to a public reckoning of police violence in this country. And let's be honest, this is the historical legacy of slavery from 1619. But there is now a broader awareness that I hope will lead to the change we all want to see. And I also see a growing awareness for the need to decarcerate in the US. These gains are not by accident. We at Just Leadership USA, along with many others, have been working towards these goals for a very long time. We have laid the groundwork to educate, elevate, and empower directly impacted individuals and their communities who have been marginalized in this country for far too long. And let me be clear, these gains are not enough. But I know that we are strengthened by our work when we are able to tell our story that we want to be heard in a powerful way. We must control the narrative. I know that I'm a better leader, a better storyteller, and a better champion for social justice because of my and our partnership with the Opportunity Agenda. I am truly honored to receive this award, the Justice Out Loud Award. There is a great deal to do and a long way to go. And we will get there as we are counting on one another and on all of you. And I am grateful in knowing that I am not in this alone. Thank you.
Deanna Hoskins, thank you for reminding us that we are not alone. I really needed to hear that because I think I'm alone, you know? Well, don't judge me because I'm a Pisces, so I have a lot of feelings. But I have been making friends during the break. Yeah, found this guy. He's got great hair. To donate or not to donate? That's actually not the question. That's not the question. No, it's not. Donate. Always donate. Yeah, always. And by the way, I do want to say that his hair visual description is brown and floppy and angular. My visual hair description is George Clooney meets Richard Gere meets the Karate Kid. A bit of a mashup, as they say here in Canada. A bit of a poutine. You know what I mean? To quote Ellen, a hot mess. A hot mess. Oh, yeah, I think it's time to check in on the Etch-a-Sketch or on the photo mosaic. We call photo mosaics Etch-a-Sketches here in Canada. So let's look at the photo mosaic and see how it's going. Have you donated any photos? By donate, I mean posted. Okay, there's a couple. Okay, I see one or two, few. Okay, look at that. Super cute. It's not too late to submit. Please submit a photo. We're super excited to see. You can even draw a photo at home, like I've done on this Etch-a-Sketch. See what I was doing? I was thinking about my Etch-a-Sketch, my joke of the future, as I like to say. whatever. You can't even see what's on here. It's fine. Don't forget to donate. You can text JUSTICE to 646-768-8285 or scan this very convenient QR code right here. Now, our next guests that we're bringing to the stage, they have devoted their lives to using art and to basically create community, impact culture, and build bridges. I met one of these guys at the Creative Change Retreat last year, and I look forward to meeting the other guy in a time, in the world, in a future where we can sit across the table together and have a conversation. Now, please welcome Jesse Crimes and Russell Craig.
Growing up, art has always been something that has been a positive outlet for creation. I ended up getting arrested, going to prison. Very quickly, I realized that art was the one thing that they weren't able to take away from me.
And my sister, she was in a foster home with me and drew a picture of like the whole Simpson family and our foster parents was all happy about it. To see that reaction from the art was like, it made me want to have that kind of reaction. So that's like where it started. I was in a lot of different foster homes, always withdraw in school instead of paying attention, and then kind of found myself into the street life. Once I was in prison, I reconnected with the art. So once I was released from prison, I met Jesse Crimes. I experienced a lot of racism in my life, so I was a little skeptical of Jesse, but he was just always like supportive and things like that. So then we found like a common goal with the art and just a connection, and we've been building. I'm motivated a lot by like things that alarm me. Like if I see like an injustice as an artist, if I could do some kind of painting, like I use the blood to highlight the trauma that we deal with as Black people, to just heighten the importance of it, how real it is.
If we're going to have any real opportunity to actually stop mass incarceration, we have to really be intentional about speaking to audiences that are outside of our bubbles. And so basically that ended up leading me into this kind of collective process of making quilts, using this quilting tradition that is very heavy in Lancaster County with the Amish and Mennonite. And then after doing a lot of research, realized that the Amish and Mennonite have a very solid foundation of restorative justice practices. I began thinking through those things and quilting as a collective process as well. And so I set up workshops, reached out to community members, worked with formerly incarcerated people. It created moments where people came together and just began seeing each other as people versus what you see when you're the judge and you're looking at someone who's a defendant, or vice versa.
I'm asking myself questions and answering things myself while working it through the art, like processing it. And how do you convey and start the conversation without me being an angry Black man? Because like you could be the victim, but then it's like you somehow become like the villain.
Half of the work that we do is to create space for people who have been to prison to actually be valued and taken seriously. Like we challenge people just by existing and being visible in space.
So to have each other to like bounce ideas and team up with and things like that, and I think that's what really kept us going.
When we came home and then started the Right of Return Fellowship, the way to create community amongst ourselves, it creates support networks. That's when you really start to shift how people see folks who have been in prison through visual art and forming community and collectives like that.
The unity, you know, because every time it's like one person, like they'll find a way to neutralize you, especially if you start getting loud with things and you're just by yourself. So unite, get the people united first, and then you can come up with like a plan and move as a unit, and then you're stronger that way.
When you bring people together in the ways that the Opportunity Agenda does, it creates the opportunity for people to form real relationships and network and realize how my issue impacts and interconnects with your issue, and how all of our issues interconnect when we have the same kind of moral goals that we're working towards.
Oh, I was so inspired by the guys that I've taken up quilting. Or is this knitting? Look, I've taken up a hobby, okay? I think it's really important to support each other. Just support me. I actually hope to have something ready for next year's gala that maybe we'll be having an auction item, and this will be an auction item, and you could put your dollars to buy this, whatever it's going to be, a sweater, dress, hat, Boz. Anyway, okay, you know what? Let's just let's bring Ellen back to the stage. Ellen, we need you.
Thank you so much, Fazia. And let me just share my deeply felt thanks with Jesse Crimes and Russell Craig. You're both incredible inspirations in how you tell your personal stories with your art and how you use that art to challenge all of us who see it to make sure that we can work together to make this world a better place. Thank you so much for doing that and doing that with us tonight. It's so inspiring. And also actually jumping off from that, thank you for making sure to remind us all that culture and art is what is undergirding our aspirations and keeping us focused on the beauty and on the joy and on the stories that we've got to figure out a way to effectively tell. We've got to effectively be a counterweight to the systemic injustice and be a counterweight to the proliferation of the joyless, violent existence that so many of our people are living through every single day. So thank you so much again, Jesse and Russell. And also that leads me to the next honoree, quite frankly, because we owe a debt of gratitude to someone who figured out a way to form a whole organization that would focus on doing just that. 15 years ago, in the brilliance of Alan Jenkins, the Opportunity Agenda was founded. It was founded to call into question the stories and the messages and everything around us and how it was influencing narrative toward change or away from it. Alan not only did that, he did that in a way that brought in all of us. He's a man who needs no introduction here, certainly. He was among the first, and if not among the first in my view, to recognize the importance of narrative and the importance of how narrative drives perception and how matching that up with what the culture around us is trying to tell us, we needed to take control and we needed to be the drivers of that narrative and of that culture so that we could move hearts and minds and see change. Alan was the first, in my view, to do that and to recognize that. And tonight, it gives me a deep privilege and honor and joy to be in a position to present him with our award. You know, 15 years ago or thereabouts, when he founded the organization, he also asked me to serve on the advisory committee that formed it. And not only did, of course, I say yes, because as many of us know, when Alan asks, people tend to do that. But I also wanted to join him on this journey because I really believe in what he was doing and is doing today. So whether it's in his previous life as a litigator for the Justice Department or as a counsel for the NAACP Legal Defense and Educational Fund, at his past job with us at the Opportunity Agenda, at the Ford Foundation as Director of Human Rights, or where he currently is in teaching our future lawyers at Harvard Law School, we know that Alan is helping to shape hearts and minds for the better for all of us, for a better world. Please join me in saying thank you to Alan Jenkins on behalf of the staff of the Opportunity Agenda, on behalf of the steering committee of the Opportunity Agenda. I'm so excited to present you with this award, Alan, the Opportunity Agenda's Justice Out Loud honor. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Ellen, and thanks to all of you for tuning in. It is such a huge honor and privilege to be receiving this award and to be with you at this remarkable time. I do want to take a moment to thank and acknowledge my co-founders of the Opportunity Agenda, Phoebe Eng, Bill Lan Lee, and Brian Smedley. And Ellen, as you noted, when we founded the Opportunity Agenda, the idea of narrative change, of cultural strategies to advance social justice elicited a lot of blank stares and some head scratching and probably some eye rolling behind our backs. But today, in large part because of the Opportunity Agenda, those strategies and the idea of and importance of telling our story, of reaching and inspiring new audiences has become a fundamental part of the social justice toolkit in a way that I think is lasting. But as many of you know, before we got to strategy, we founded this organization on values and ideals, and in particular, on the ideal of opportunity, the notion that everyone deserves a fair chance to achieve their full potential, and that fair chance is rooted in equality, in equal treatment, in economic security and mobility, in having a voice in decisions that affect us, a chance to start over after missteps or misfortune, what many people call redemption, and community. The idea and reality that we're all in it together, that we share responsibility to advance the common good. We believed and still do that achieving those values is not just a good idea, but it's part of our human rights, the fundamental rights we all hold simply because we were born. As you all know, those values could not be more important than they are right now when we are confronting the greatest multiple challenges of most of our lifetimes. A pandemic that makes it so plain that we're all in it together, and that reveals the inequality of our health systems, of our social systems, of our society. Terrible police killings of people of color that lay bare the fundamental inequality and flaws of our justice system to anyone except those who are willfully blind to it. The reemergence of white supremacy and authoritarianism and of violations of basic fundamental human rights in the highest office of the land. And yet, the good news, and there is good news, we also have seen the emergence of new activism and new voices and new ideas that I think together can add up to a third reconstruction, a fundamental reimagining of our society and our systems in alignment with most, if not all, of the values upon which the Opportunity Agenda was founded. It's out of cataclysmic events like the ones we're living through right now that transformative, positive change can come if we do the work to make it happen. So at this crucial moment, if we didn't have an Opportunity Agenda, we would have to create one. But more good news, we do have an Opportunity Agenda. And for 15 years, this organization has been preparing and training and lifting up the voices of remarkable leaders, so many of the crucial voices that are making change right now in the streets and in the halls of justice and in many, many other places. That legacy is one of the reasons why I am so pleased to be accepting this award alongside Deanna Hoskins of Just Leadership USA, a remarkable visionary leader who is making the world and nation a better place, both through her work and through her values and beliefs. So thank you, Deanna, much appreciated. And finally, I do want to thank the Opportunity Agenda's Steering Committee Chair, Vincent Benjamin, who I'm proud to now call a friend, and the entire staff and steering committee of the Opportunity Agenda, which even in the year since I passed the baton and the microphone to Ellen Buckman has grown and evolved and is doing amazing new things. So Ellen, thank you so much for your leadership. Thank you all for this beautiful award, which I'm so proud to receive. Stay safe, continue to do the amazing work you're doing, and have a great night.
Greetings. I'm Vincent Benjamin, the chair of the steering committee for the Opportunity Agenda. Alan and Deanna, thank you so much and congrats for your well-deserved recognition. Ellen and team, thank you for all you all do to lead the organization day in and day out. And for all those joining, thank you for joining us this evening and spending your time with us. I've been involved with the organization for over 3 years for good reason. I love my family, my wife Heather, my daughters Ella, Ava, and Chloe, and I really want them to inherit a world that is fair and just. Part of what I'm doing is I'm here to ask you to give a gift. And if you're like me, you receive numerous requests for support. So I want you to consider two things this evening. First, we, the Opportunity Agenda, we're behind the scenes, increasing the impact of hundreds, if not thousands, of social justice advocates or organizations. And second, their work will continue long after the election, regardless of the outcome. So I'm inviting you to make a difference this evening by contributing right now. And we have 3 ways to do that, as you may have noticed throughout the evening. You can donate via the button on your screen. You can text the word justice to the number on the screen, and you can scan the QR code as well. So I thank you for your support and look forward to partnering with you for justice in the future. Thank you.
Wow. As we wind things down, I again want to say, stay tuned. Don't leave us, because there's music, as Fazia said. First, though, I want to say thank you to a few people. I want to say thank you first and foremost to all of you for joining us tonight and for your faith and your trust and your partnership as we together achieve the future that we want to see for our beautiful community. You are all superheroes and sheroes in my book, and thank you so much for being with us. Thank you to those of you who submitted testimonials and photos. They are priceless. Thank you to our amazing MC, Fazia Mirza, and the artists Jesse Crimes and Russell Craig for your incredible work and your vision. Thank you to someone who you'll hear from soon, Stefan Brackett. You'll hear his music and you'll sing along. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you to our funders and to all of you who are supporters. Thank you to the steering committee of the Opportunity Agenda. And last but not least, I have to acknowledge and thank Team Opportunity Agenda, the staff, our leadership team, and the tireless team who put together this evening tonight. Our production team, our development staff led by the one and only Leslie Weber, and Aaron Streck, who brought us tonight. Thank you so much. We all owe you a debt of gratitude. With that, I want to conclude my remarks simply by saying we will achieve that justice if we keep calling for it effectively, like we did tonight, like we always strive to do. The future is bright, and I know it is just, and we'll get there together by calling for justice out loud. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Vincent. Thank you, Alan. And thank you, Alan, for being such a visionary and for reminding us of the state of the world. Like, if we didn't have an opportunity agenda, we would have to create one because 2020. But since we have an opportunity agenda, or op agenda, as I like to say, we're actually doing pretty okay. And in order to maintain our beautiful opportunity agenda, we have to support, donate, text justice to 646-768-8285. Let me, hold on, I have an old phone, so it just doesn't have my texting. Remember, 646-768-8285, or you know what, why don't you just scan that QR code right there? It's probably a little easier. Oh, and Ellen, thank you for inviting me to share in this really, truly remarkable evening with you, even though we're not together. I actually have no idea where Ellen is, probably safe at her home and hopefully having a scotch. Oh, now I know there was a musical segment promised, so I am thrilled to bring you my world performance debut on the hand accordion. Wait, what? I'm so, hold on, sorry. What? What do you mean? What? I thought you want, oh, okay, right. It's Stefan and Michelle. Oh, of course, okay. Okay, folks, big misunderstanding, huge, but it's fine. I'll save this for, the next pandemic. Now, last week, I did get to reconnect with my friends, Stefan Brackett, and we met also at the Creative Change Retreat. And I just want to say that he is basically like this human that is the little slice of all that is good in the world. We had a beautiful conversation when we talked last week, and also I got to meet and chat with his collaborator, Michelle Rocket. And they have a very special musical performance for us tonight. Check it out! Stefan, we last saw each other at the Opportunity Agendas retreat in a very different place at Sundance. The world is definitely not the same, but maybe it was the same, you know? It just was less visibly lava. But I know there's probably so much to share, and some of it is stuff for us to talk about offline, and some of it is for us to share now. But I mean, could you talk a little bit about what you've been up to and a little bit about your collaboration with Michelle?
Absolutely. I mean, there's so many things to feel right now. And I really like what you said about maybe this isn't new, because that's actually been like since Trump's election forward. I just feel like this is actually just revealing all the stuff that's always been there. I'm not going to say that's necessarily a good thing, but it does give us real grounds to move. But it also means we have to continue to be brave enough and bold enough to keep on peeling back the layers. So like this has to do with the song choice that Michelle and I are working on. We kind of wanted to be able to talk about like this lineage of people peeling back the layers, and at the same time, like, what are we doing in this context? So we're kind of doing a medley where we're combining like some very classic, well-known songs, specifically out of the African-American tradition, and then juxtaposing it with our lyrics from songs that we have written. Michelle and I have worked on a few things. She also works with me at Youth on Record. We work with students on a regular basis. So I thought like, I couldn't find a better partner in this moment to have like this kind of statement now. And like Michelle just brings so much stuff to it.
Michelle, maybe you could talk a little bit about working with Stefan and you know what that collaboration means to you.
Yeah, I think being able to work with Stefan on multiple projects, I have learned so much about resistance, not as a romance, but as a science. And I think that music is part of that science. It's part of the technology. It's part of generations of people doing this, and that we're not having to start from scratch. Every tool that we have exists. It's just trying to figure out how to find them and use them, you know? So I think in this collaboration specifically too, I think the medley that we ended up choosing deals with the feeling of endlessness, which is part of the pandemic, which is part of being in the middle of a public health crisis, being in the middle of endlessness of, you know, police brutality. I mean, it's just, but also how the most beautiful thing.
Y'all recorded this specifically for the Opportunity Agenda Gala.
Yes.
Okay, I mean, you know, no big deal. That is so beautiful. I feel like this, you know, when something is both organic and original and of this moment, like there is nothing else that I know I personally want to ingest and digest and like, I was going to say rub all over, but that felt a little awkward. So
like, however you're feeling.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's so good. What's the name of this track or the song or the medley?
Yeah, so we will be including parts of House of the Rising Sun, In the Pines, Amazing Grace, and a couple original things by Stefan and myself.
Is it going to be awkward if I cry? Because I'm already feeling.
That's the highest compliment I think any artist can receive.
Thank you so much for talking to me a little bit about what we're going to hear and see and witness. And I feel lucky that I got to have this moment with you both. And honestly, enough of me. Let's hear from y'all. Thank you for sharing this with us.
it break the chains of profit from the cotton fields to lock up yield and gross domestic product in this most depressing saga. I'll still shout down Babylon and call out the Pontius Pilates. This is domestic violence. Witness our best and brightest silence. It's time to shake it off and call an intifada. Fathers, daughters, mothers, sons. We need a new tomorrow when we fill the streets. You can hear my people call. My girl, don't lie to me. Tell me, where did you sleep last night? In the pines, where the sun don't ever shine or shiver night through. This is madness, how this teams get bandaged. Hoping it's damaged or broken compassion. There's not enough hope in the van when the world is collapsing. Our mode of action, broadcast the glass. All we can manage, donate with the plastic, scrapping the salad. Hoping to balance emotions and validate it. Stage on 4-3 aspect, another man down, another gone. Child drowned, another silent soul. Solitude, another kind of strong. I love you, another stronger along. Those missing in action, another page is black and burned. Turn ashes to ashes, dust off the flags and the caskets.
Staircases winding with terminal care and leading to bedrooms of dust and perfume. Leading by psychics makes me want to lie. I should have kept my shies inside.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Thank you, Stefan and Michelle. I give you this rose, this carnation, because quite frankly, your performance was much better than mine would have been. Also, thanks y'all out there for sending in photos to our photo mosaic. Hey, can we take a look at it? Can we see what's happening in our mosaic world? Let's take a look. Okay, I see that. What is that, a little dinosaur? What? I love it. This is so good. So cute. Now, remember, if you visit the Opportunity Agenda website tomorrow, you'll be able to see the actual mosaic being built in real time. And I think you can still send in your photos. Just do it. It's super fun. And honestly, I think that we're kind of done now, right? This is it. This is the end of our time together. Well, I just want to say thank you to you, the supporters, the audience, and all the participants and guests who joined us on our virtual stage. Thank you, Nordest, the studio I'm here coming to you live from here in Toronto. Also, thank you for donating. It is also never too late to donate. So please donate even after this is over tomorrow. It's really an essential time to support an organization like the Opportunity Agenda. Now, I want you to remember a couple things. We're all in this together. This is a time for collaboration. And in the words of some of our speakers, this is a year of public reckoning. We have to speak to audiences outside our bubble. This state of the world is not new, and resistance, it's a romance. It's not a romance at all. It's a science. I messed that up a little bit, but that's because I was talking into a megaphone. But now my time has ended here. And I'd like to leave you with the words of someone very famous who once said these words, also somebody who has great hair. Good night and good luck.